Welcome to Creation Creator Collective. This is Mike. Wanted to make a video tonight about emotional freedom and how to be powerful in your emotional magnetism and how to just feel free in your emotions and how to not have a problem with your emotions. And this is an interesting video for me because this is something I'm still working on a lot, and it's just like the ceiling of how powerful you can become through your emotions is just infinite. It's amazing. And emotions, for so many people, it seems like emotions are controlling us and we don't have control over emotions because so many negative emotions can arise and they kind of just take over our consciousness. I'm still in a journey of learning to be emotionally free and powerful, and creating these videos is a very healing practice that I'm undertaking, and I'm enjoying it a lot. And in the past, I used to be very depressed and very socially awkward and shy and unable to speak to pretty much about anyone. That was probably 10 or 11 years ago. And ever since then, that's about the time my spiritual journey started, and I became more and more able to speak to people and be myself, but still respect me as a person. I require time to myself, and that makes me kind of hard to relate to people sometimes, because so many people are just not able to sit with themselves and enjoy their own company. And so sitting with yourself takes courage, because so many people aren't willing to do that. They're always filling their time with spending it with others and groups and or technology, phones, all of that stuff. And so you can be emotionally powerful and emotionally free. You have to go on a journey about being at peace with your own emotions. And to do that, you have to learn how to not fight painful emotions like depression and feeling abandoned and alone and uncertainty about your life and all of that. It takes a lot of courage to face those emotions and process them, because most people just bury them in addictions or relationships or plethora of distractions in the world. But being emotionally free means that we are able to connect to that part of us that controls emotions. And I'm not saying that as like controlling emotions from an egoic place of separateness and wanting to feel a certain way and trying hard to be that way. I'm saying there's a part of us, our higher selves, that creates emotion in perfect love and compassion, and we can connect to that and be in emotional freedom by self-love and learning to be so at peace with our emotions that if we get angry or if we're sad or if our back hurts one day and it makes us irritated because we had a long list of things we wanted to finish, which was what happens to me a lot. I mean, what if you're able to just be okay with that and just be your own best friend and your number one fan? Because emotional freedom means that you are so aligned with supporting yourself and always acknowledging and telling yourself that you're doing a great job. This is how you're meant to be right now, and trying to become greater is great, and that's wonderful. But whenever you want to become greater vibration of your own highest potential and your highest self, you have to receive yourself first as enough, as being good enough. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. And being emotionally free means being willing to feel whatever you need to feel and not pushing anything away. Back when I was in a dark place, I could never have imagined making a video like this. It's really amazing to think about just how much, me personally, how much one person can change. I used to be buried in video games and have hardly any friends, and I'm not afraid to say that because that was a part of how I became who I am now. And now I'm able to talk to anyone, and that's emotional freedom is being able to talk to anyone and not caring what they think about that, about being who you are. I've worked at a job where it's a place where people kind of just stand around a lot between jobs of going out and working. And fascinating experience of being completely fine with just not hanging out with these groups of people that were just loud and obnoxious and kind of being negative to each other about this and that. I just stand off from the side and just be myself and smile. And in high school, I hated that. I hated feeling separated from the group, and I didn't vibe with any of it because everyone was just horrible to each other and cruel, and it wasn't me. And it hurt not being a part of the group. But now I can stand in my own vulnerability and power and willingness to just be me, because that's what everyone wants, is to just be free to be themselves. People that hang out in groups that harm each other, deep down they know that that's wrong. They know they know it's not their highest path, but it hurts to not be a part of a group. And there's a lot of people in the world that are just energetically codependent on being a part of the group, and they're not able to break out of the mold that society has set. And so when you choose to become emotionally free and vulnerable to yourself and allow yourself to feel how you feel, imagine doing it for the people that aren't able to, the people that just don't have the amount of determination or drive to allow their uniqueness to be embraced. And so you can draw on that as a huge source of power and alignment with your higher self, where you want to become emotionally free and powerful for to help people heal, to help people be at peace with themselves, and to feel like they're enough, and to feel like they're safe being who they are, and to feel whatever you feel. There's so many things I could talk about from this point. This will be another thing I'll talk about in other videos, but as a male, as a guy, our society, I've had very close friends and family that have just completely gone off the rails and become just completely disconnected from themselves and the world because of how society teaches men that it shows weakness to feel emotions. It shows weakness to display affection or support or like deep emotional love towards yourself or towards others. And that is just so sad, and it breaks my heart, because I've chosen to separate myself from friends and groups that think that being emotionally vulnerable and being at peace with any feeling just shows weakness, because that's just this belief system of trying to maintain an appearance of strength as a physical being only. True strength is of the spirit, it's of your higher self, and it's the ability to feel and overcome and honor and love and celebrate the divinity in everything. And men have a lot of healing work to do as far as learning to process emotion and feel emotion and be at peace with being vulnerable, because men are afraid to be vulnerable. And I've seen fear of vulnerability completely destroy people, because asking for help dissolves if you're in a place of just deep ego only, being vulnerable and asking for help completely destroys your identity. And people can lose that identity, and they're different. Their soul literally will leave their body. I've seen it happen, and it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. But I choose not to just shut down because of that. I choose not to say, why me? I choose to embody what I know in my heart is an ability to overcome and transform all of that suffering. And emotional vulnerability, emotional freedom, and power comes from being able to embrace any emotion within you and honoring it as holy and divine. Because when we separate ourselves from our divinity and our higher self, we feel the emotions of fear and pain and uncertainty. We always feel like we're not enough. We always have to be more, get more, do more, be somewhere else. Anywhere but here syndrome. And emotional vulnerability means being aligned with your higher self and being free to feel what you feel, and doing it to help the world heal its affliction with being unable to face itself and be at peace with itself, because it thinks it's separate from the divine, but it's not. It's impossible. And when you believe in impossible things, it starts to feel kind of shitty. And that's what's going on in the world. People are afraid to stop believing in impossible things, because what will other people think about that? If I go around trying to teach people that the whole universe is within them, God is within them, people think I was crazy doing that. So I don't want to be excluded and seen as a crazy person because of that. But it can change completely with emotional vulnerability. You can go around telling people that they're beautiful and amazing, and they're just fucking spectacular, and they'll look at you like you have two heads. But you can go undercover. You can use language as a infiltration tactic to help people see how amazing they are. and help people see it's okay to feel their emotions. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be exactly the way they are, because since they're the way they are, divinity could not be another way to begin with, because that is the nature of divinity, to be in ways it has never been before. And I'm going to take the message on my clock as 8:33 as a message that perhaps I should stop the video before my phone runs out of space. And so thank you for listening to my speech, my transmission about emotional freedom, emotional vulnerability, and emotional power. And I hope that this transmission has served as a maybe a gateway into a greater courage for you to feel supported in feeling your emotions and being free to feel however you feel, because everything is right. And emotional freedom is amazing because it's a pure silence of the mind where you're not trying to feel any other way. You're not trying to meditate a certain way and feel love and support in a certain way, because whenever you are able to embrace and feel any emotion within you, trying to feel a certain way kind of becomes crazy, because feeling love or feeling peace within you, those are aspects of your being. Those are parts of your soul. Those are angelic aspects of your own consciousness that exist independently of your trying to feel them and hold on to them. So emotional power and emotional vulnerability is being so aligned with your higher self that you can feel whatever you need to feel, because nothing can stop you from embodying that compassion and joy and mercy of your higher self, because it's who you are. And when you get aligned to that, you're ready to feel anything, because you'll be so powerful that the darkest blame, fear, guilt, uncertainty, depression, loneliness, it will be absolutely nothing in the light of your emotional power in alignment with your higher self, being all of these divine attributes of your soul so unstoppably that all of the darkness of the world and the collective unconsciousness will be transmuted completely in your presence. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This has been Mike with Creation Creator Collective, and I hope you have a blessed day. Love to you all. Thank you for watching.